Hello and welcome back again to the Movie Soup channel, my dear viewer. As was promised in my previous video, today we are going to review the first episode of the third season of the Netflix series The Snowpiercer. Before we dive in, I would like to once again express my love for the post-apocalypse settings and the anti-utopian stories. I enjoy both watching and reading those greatly. As for the Netflix series, I found the first season quite decent. I actually watched it twice, during the original release of course, and then right before the second season came out. If you would like to know my thoughts on the seasons 1 and 2 or the 2013 movie, then you are more than welcome to check this video out. Now let us dive into the episode. So the escaped crew, let's call them the good guys, are on the run with the original locomotive, while Wilfred and his lapdogs, let's call them the bad guys, are pulling the actual train full of people, let's call them the victims, with their supply or backup engine. And you would think that the good guys would be desperately trying to find a way to take back their train to save their people, partially because Andre is part of the good guys crew and he was the original leader of their rebellion, and partially because Alexa is very smart and would have figured out very quickly that the backup train would not be able to supply all the cars with sufficient power and heat. But no, they are just 6 months on a run, and their goal is to gather enough proof for their global warming theory to present to the bad guys, as if the bad guys, and Wilfred in particular, presented themselves as very reasonable and compassionate people in Season 2. In an effort to gather some ice samples, the good guys stop and send their chief engineer on a little expedition to collect those. Of course, something goes wrong and Ben gets incapacitated. Why would you send out one of your most valuable crew members on a super dangerous trip outside of the train? Why would you not send Andre or Bess? Or the random passenger who ended up on the same train with them? Hell, they could have sent out one of the prisoners. It's not like they're gonna run away. Furthermore, why is Andre still in charge? Yes, he was the leader of their rebellion and the man of the people, but in this particular setting, he is in no way qualified to take the lead and make sound technical decisions concerning the operation of their engine. We also see Bess having a meal with the prisoners and the random passenger fella. They seem to enjoy a filling meal while also talking about dwindling food supplies later on in the episode. It does not freaking seem like they try to ration at all. And why the would you give the keys to the prisoner section to the random dude? Why would you even let the dude move around freely? How can you trust him if he is not one of the original tail crew led by Andre or from the ex-hospitality supporters? Someone has to go out and rescue Ben, and Andre volunteers, which makes total sense. But the Icicle Josie, for some reason, wants to go instead, and they end up going together, leaving Bess and Alex alone. What the How is that any better? How come risking 2 additional crew is safer than 1? In the meantime, the engine overheats and they need to get the train moving in order to cool it down. Guess what? Within 6 months, none of them thought it might have been a good idea to learn some basic engine controls for someone else but Alex and Dan. Controls that apparently are so complex that they require a single lever motion. What an embarrassment. Wilfred is proven to be a heartless bastard in dealing with the passengers. What a surprise. We see Javi, the other engineer that was chewed up a little. First couple of times, we see him from behind wearing a coat, which led me to believe we would eventually see a horribly deformed face. But no, it's just a little scar on a cheek, and Javi's alright, my friends. He's just fine. LJ and Johnny are now running the club car and are still complete. What a surprise as well. Also, why would Wilfred give them so much power? He knows they are slick and will do what's best for them. Getting rid of them both would be very useful, as you never know when betraying you will suit their agenda, but I digress. Ruth is now the new resistance lead and has to escape constant bad guys' pursuit with the help from the others. Oh, the same story as we saw in season 1, but with fewer moving parts and less tension. Back to Andre and the icicle Josie. Why did they take the hoist contraption with them? Did they know he fell through? Why did they approach the hole straight up? Would they not fall through as well? Why did the weight of the hoist, combined with the weight of the body it was lifting and concentrated on 3 or 4 spots on the surface, not break through as well? How convenient is the fact that their suits are equipped with super cold-proof batteries apparently and can not only receive power but also send it, making the cross-suit power sharing easy and convenient. And hey, it takes only seconds. But of course, none of that super fancy tech could have been applied to their super advanced sleds, which they still have to pull. Why does Andre stay back and does not even try to return with them? What if Josie is not strong enough to pull Ben? What's the point in his fatalistic twist of attitude? If that's how he felt the entire time, why did he not go out to collect the freaking samples in the first place? Anyway, he finds some sort of a Japanese bunker, I guess, gets lured into an obvious trap, but manages to overpower the stranger, charge his suit, and return safely to the train with the unconscious unknown. How convenient that the stranger also had power supply and just the right plug. Oh yeah, and remember that random passenger? Yeah, he not only has the keys from where the prisoners are, he also has a shocker. Yeah, that's right, a shocker. This releases the prisoners and they take over the control room of the engine. It is enough for Audrey to whisper a few banal statements in Alex's ear that she starts to question her entire commitment and work. So you tell me they've been at it for 6 months. Now they are trying to collect some key data that is supposed to help them prove their theory, but just a couple of words about Wilfred are enough for Alex to start questioning herself. Oh yeah, and Bess wakes up, knows something is amiss. But instead of trying to assess the situation, maybe listen in and find a way out, she just shouts, bangs on a hatch, and panics a little. No one pays this any heed and does not question why she went silent all of a sudden, allowing Bess to arm herself with a wrench and find her way back into the control room. They've been going in one direction for a while, they've had to reverse to return back to the Wanderers, but somehow they could see them from a distance while reversing. How does that work exactly? They say they've been on a run for 6 months, collecting the data, analyzing and planning their return to the main train, but I think they've been pissing their brains out. The series has run its course at this stage, and I most definitely will not be watching the rest of it. And as always, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Goodbye.